very much. So, welcome once again to another edition. And my name is Ibukon, and I'll be moderating the session for today. And as I was saying, the speaker is someone that inspires me so much, and I will advise each and every one of us to pay keen attention to whatever she will be saying today. And the topic is is one that is very, very, very important because in the mentorship program we have more of students. And so today you are going to be learning how to build influence as a student leader. So the organization that is organizing this is Mr. B's Educational Foundation. Please, the next slide. Okay, so okay, Mr. B's educational. Okay, this is our event schedule for today. So welcome once again. Please, next slide. So please, during this session, be aware of your environment. Make sure you are in a quiet environment and distraction-free environment. Also, kindly mute when you are not speaking so as to reduce background noise. And also, you have to turn on your camera only if you are asked to do so. And also ensure that you are listening at you should avoid listening at excessively high volumes if you are using your handheld device. And lastly, if you are driving, please, for safety reasons, we advise you to kindly exit the call, or you could park and join the meeting. So do not watch while driving. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, moving forward. Sorry. Okay, who are we? Mr. B's Educational Foundation is a registered non-governmental organization with Nigeria Corporate Affairs Commission, and it was established based on 3 out of the 17 United Nations SDG goals, which is sustainability development goals. And goal 1 is no poverty, goal 4 good and quality education, goal 17 partnership to achieve the goals. So we were established based on these 3 goals. Now, what is our vision? Our vision is to empower the next generation by propagating education, both formal and informal. And our mission is award of excellence to outstanding students and teachers in government-owned schools, vocational skills training to members of the community, especially women and youth, and lastly, support towards career development through mentorship. And over the years, we've done a lot of things. So in 2019 was our year of academic excellence, and 1,000 students were empowered with vocational skills, and this positively impacted that education is a priority. Also, 3 principals were sponsored to participate in an extensive training on school management, and the schools were inaugurated into our reward for academic scheme. And lastly, in the year 2019, 500 nose marks were given to students and teachers to aid learning during COVID-19. Now, in 2021 was our year of collaboration, and majorly 4 things were done, which are the school book drive in one of the biggest slums in Lagos, where we provided learning materials to over 40 students. Then the International Girls Child in partnership with Ibile Youth Badagry Division. And also in 2021, reward for academic excellence continued. And lastly, over 20 individual sponsors who shared same goals with us also sought an equal chance for students irrespective of background. Now, in the year 2023 was our year of great and fruitful impact. 78 students have been rewarded for their academic excellence, and we collaborated with SP University of Ibadan to encourage over 1,000 students on the importance of education and light up a child's education initiatives And if you look down, over 6 months now, we offered 6 months, we offered hands-on training in fashion and catering in partnership with experts like Barian Fashion, and also Selfless Service Foundation Partnership Award 2023. Now, in 2025, our 2025 was year of mentorship and big vision, whereby 68 women were empowered with skills that act as a source of livelihood. We also collaborated with KO Education and Ola Foundation to extensively get students ready for CBT exam. Lastly, over 3,000 students and young professionals have benefited from our mentorship program and scholarship preparedness sessions. So you could see that from 2019 to 2025, we've actually like come far and we've done great things. So now moving to today's session. Today's session is leading with integrity, leading with vision and integrity, building influence as a student leader. And we are opportune to have Miss Olamide Efosa Austin. So she is an award-winning leader at the intersection of energy, technology, and sustainability, with about a decade of experience driving systemic change across emerging markets. At NNPC, which is Africa's largest energy company, she serves as lead for business performance and KPIs, venture assets, where she champions tech-enabled operational excellence at scale. Armed with a BSc in chemical engineering and a diploma in French, she brings both technical foundation and cross-cultural fluency. Before joining NNPC, she spent years as a senior field engineer at SLB, formerly Schlumberger, delivering well optimization and technology-driven solutions across 100 plus oil wells spanning Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. And innovation continues to drive impact. She was recently recognized at the NNPC Upstream Innovation Hackathon for introducing a first of its kind solution to tackle produced water in the upstream assets. Olamide's influence extends well beyond the wellhead. As a future energy leader at the World Energy Council and director of Tech for Good Africa, she is on a mission to empower over 100,000 individuals annually across 55 plus countries through digital equity and inclusion. She also co-founded Storytellers NG, a children's brand shaping identity and learning across Africa. Her work has earned recognition from some of the industry's most respected platforms, including AOW's Top 50 Power Women in Energy and Sustainability, Africa's Top 50 Emerging Energy Leaders, and the 2025 Transformational Leader in Energy Award by TIBA, among others. Olamide isn't waiting for Africa's energy future. She is building it for all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, with your emojis and also round of applause on the chat box, please let's make welcome Miss Olamide Austin Efosa for today's session. So, please, Ma, you have the floor now.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. It's a joy to be here. And I'm excited to share my Saturday morning with you, everyone. I see we have Kelly, there's Okpeyemi, Emileke, there's Abigail, there's Anna. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. And it's my joy to be here with everyone. So I'll go ahead now and share my slides really briefly. Okay, so let's see if we have this up. Okay. Is it in a presentation mode though? Because it appears I'm struggling with that.
We can see the screen now, Ma.
Awesome. Okay, so I think that'll just prepare us for the next thing coming so we don't take all of the time. So today's topic is one that as a people, and if you're Nigerian or African, you probably I've thought about it one time or another, and the reality of leading a people. So we're in a generation that is influence driven. So I'm an influencer, you're an influencer, is your influencer, I'm your influencer's influencer. I don't know if there are people who've heard that. Right. And the drive for influence is at an all-time high, especially in this generation, because we're in the media generation. So before you buy the outfit, you're checking out who's worn it before or as your fave ever and all of that. Largely also because the age group we have on this call today, we are the majority, you and I. We are in the majority. 7 out of every 10 Nigerians are under 30. So if you're 30 years old, you can anticipate, or if you're under 30, if you're in your 20s, for instance, if and when you meet another 10 people in almost any group, you can be 70% sure that they are largely within your age group. Now, what that means is Nigeria's median age, roughly at 18, means we will invariably be the decision makers in another decade or two or three. The question then is, what will we make of our own leadership? What is the crop of leaders that we will be? Because judging by the leadership we've seen in the 3 decades we've existed, not many people want to replicate that. So the leaders you'd see in the House of Reps, from the president to governor, their ages are probably double your age. And then the question is, would we lead on purpose or by accident when we are called on to lead? So we're going to do something real quick. I want you to type in the chat box, who is one leader that you trust today and why? Could we do that real quick? One leader you trust today, and why do you trust the person? I'm trying to open up here. Can't seem to see the chat because I'm sharing. Anna, are you able to see the chat? Am I audible? Okay, let's see. Full screen. Okay, so I might just share the slide.
Elma, we can't hear you again. Okay, I think our speaker is having a little network issue, so please kindly hold on for her to join back in. And also why she joins in, the question that she asked, please kindly send your responses on the chat box. Thank you. Okay, so for those that did not get the question, she said one which is the one leader you trust and why do you trust the person? So you can drop your answers on the chat box while we wait for her to join in. Thank you. We sincerely apologize for this. We are in Nigeria, so things like this are actually bound to happen. So please let's kindly hold on while she join in once our network is stable. Thank you.
Okay. Apologies there. My internet just kicked me out. I hope it's not the VDM faithfuls that facilitated that though.
Hello, ma. Please confirm me if you can hear me, because I think we've lost you again. Hmm. I'm so sorry, everyone. Okay. Okay, I think our network is really, really messy. So please let's kindly hold on for her to join back again. Thank you.
Okay, hi team. So I might just turn off my video to save the bandwidth. I hope that is okay. So we can run through this real quick. Awesome. So we can move on to slide 2 and then we'll run through this. Am I audible? Okay, gotcha. All right. So your title gives you a platform just well, and we would over the course of this time refer to VDM at some point because we've had someone share that that's a leader, the trust. Okay, so that's a person who has a platform. However, each and every one of us, regardless of the number we are in the statistic, means, and I imagine quite a number of us are leaders already or aspiring to be leaders. It means that we already have a platform. The next question is, what choices would we make? And would this lead us? Would this be um, consequential to where you're headed? Right. So with influence, it means that you can take a step and everyone who, number one, trust in you or look to you as a leader, follow in your steps. Now, the question becomes, what kind of choices are you making? Are they choices that would influence the people positively or otherwise? And today we're talking through the vision, we're talking through um, integrity. And you've probably heard it said that integrity means that your voices, your actions, and what people see of you align. So it's not a case where, oh, A was said, however, B was done, and then by the time it's being reported, it is C, which is currently what we have today. Right. Okay. Um, what we've seen in the chat is someone saying, oh, I'm going to quote and unquote trust VDM because this person has repeatedly done this. However, our allegiance, slide 3. Could we kindly move to slide 3? Okay. However, leadership begins the moment your choices affect someone else. And I want everyone to take this as a line to remember because leadership is not just when you're voted into power, when you're, next slide, please, when you appear on a scene as a class rep, as the person who is the gen sec, as, next slide, please, as the focal point, whether you're the cost rep, that's the moment that leadership begins. And as of today, 39% of workers' cost skills are expected to change by 2030. AI is carrying a lot of heavyweight today. The question then is, what would human leadership be? What things would AI be able to do or not do? For instance, if you type anything at all in AI, it's going to give you its feedback based on sentiments, not based on whether um, it wants to extend empathy to people you're leading or not leading. And currently, there's a trust metric being measured across the world. And I want us to guess in the chat what, so it's a metric from 0 to 100. What number do you imagine Nigeria's trust metric is today? I just want someone to put that in the chat. Between 0 to 100, what do you think the trust metric in Nigeria is? Okay, so Anna thinks it's 10. Okay, fairly close. We'll just have a few more people trust. Okay, Kelly thinks 15%. Do you have anyone else? What do you think the trust metric in Nigeria is? 20. Khadija thinks it's 20. Awesome. Okay. So the average of what we have on the chart is about 15, and that's not far off. So in Nigeria, it's about 18. And then there is a pointing system, which is what you'd see on the screen, that we can increase our what's it called, our trust metric in Nigeria if we follow what the other countries are doing. So we have the potential to increase our metric by 22 points, which is what other countries have experienced since like 2023, right? So countries apart from Nigeria have experienced an increased 22 points rise in trust since 2023. because leadership, social influence have now been incorporated as a core skill. So before now, I know we've probably heard of soft skills. So soft skills say, oh, your leadership, your social influence. And in measuring the trust metric, it wasn't a part of it. However, companies that have adopted this significantly since 2023 and introduced that have experienced as much as a 22 points. So if we take that into consideration as a Nigerian entity and start to grow it, we can expect that. Okay. And the Latin America, the Caribbeans are quite close to us, right? And when this survey was, I think it was conducted by the World Economic Forum, if I'm not mistaken, the 70% of employers that were surveyed expect that there'll be an higher demand of not just workers who have the technical skills, but they rank equally as high soft skills. Now, I'm going to leave us with four cogent points as leaders today. Number one is vision. Number one is vision. The next slide. So once you settled, and if you're on this call, you're already a leader. Next slide, please. Next slide. So vision is what then turns whatever activity you're doing into direction. Vision is saying, okay, what kind of leader am I going to be? We already have a credibility crisis globally that is extremely low. I don't imagine that I saw other people upload the leaders they trust. But just on this call, were 10 of us. And the statistic says 7 in 10 people suspect their leaders of deliberately misleading them. Imagine if you saw a billboard and the president of the country says, oh, we're going to give 100,000 naira to everyone in the country. 7 out of 10 people will suspect it. Like, what does he want in return? What does it want in return? And that should never be the place that a country is. So it now rests on us to say, what would we do differently? So the vision of the leader that we desire to be as a people is what will then turn the activities we do into direction. So what better future do we have in mind? And I would want us to just take 30 seconds to draw that picture in your mind, right? What do you see could be better in our leadership today? Because vision is not fantasy. Vision is, as a student leader, you would have a budget to work with. You would have alumni to work with. You'll have the authority. You'll have the permission to want what you want. But the question is, do you have a clear picture of where you're going? Do you have that picture clearer than everyone else? Because that is what makes you a leader. Everyone will look to the leader, but is the leader looking to his own vision board? Is the leader looking to a clear vision ahead of him? And that is where C comes in. So today, the first things I want you to take away is the 4 S's. See, say, serve, and start. You can see the vision. You can get specific with it. As a leader, I want to be integral. My words will match what I do. And that in itself is a form of power, right? So whether it's on paper or on the phone, I would want you to write a declaration, which is the say, make the future clear. 12 months from now, because I led, the people around me will be able to say XYZ about me. So I want us to do that activity. What is the thing that you're going to take as your own posture 12 months from now? Because I led, the people around me will be able to say XYZ, and you can fill in the gap. with that, your own gap, you could fill it with the people around me will be able to say that I led with empathy. The people around me will be able to say I led with credibility. The people around me will be able to say that I led with clarity. I was able to give clarity. I was able to give accountability. So clarity, accountability, empathy, modeling possibilities. Those are some of the things, and you want to write down what yours is. The other S is serve. Connect people to what they need. So whatever you're serving, imagine if you're leading a student body where they have to write, say, technical papers, but what you're focusing on is not the vision of the entire group. That way, you start to think about just your own thing. It becomes apparent because the people are not moving toward a common goal. The people are not the people's desire is not being factored in. Do you see? So with vision, it has to align with the broader group. So if you're in a group where you are leading people who dance, but then 10 out of 20 times when you people meet, you're not dancing, that's a derailment in its own way. That as a leader, it is important that you don't, one, derail the people, two, you don't delay them, three, you don't derail, delay. There are two other D's I'm trying to remember now. One moment, it will come to me. Okay, yeah, you don't distort the vision, and then finally you don't undermine the people. So in serving, there are the 4 Ds that are negative, and then there are the 4 positive Ds. The 4 positive is clarity of decision, an unmistakable determination, because when you're leading, sometimes your followers need to feed off your own energy. I don't know if you've ever been a team where the leader continues to say, just like Martin Luther King, I have a dream, I have a dream. And just because of the leader's conviction and determination, everyone rallies around it and believes. That's the power of leadership. The third D is discipline. And a leader that doesn't have discipline would say yes to everything, would say no to the vision alignment, and will eventually derail his people. And then the 4th D is diligence. And the good book says, oh, seest thou a man diligent in his ways? He will stand before kings and not mean men, because kings want excellence. And to achieve excellence, it has to be done diligently. So right about now, we're going to go real quick into a case study. And I'll just want, if you're still tuned in, I'll just want you to type ready in the chat. We're going into a case study. Just type ready in the chat. Just type ready. Awesome. So Ibukun is ready. We will go for it. Kelly is ready. Alrighty. So we are going to talk through a case study. However, mentally, I want you to put in your mind the 4-line vision test. Next slide. Can people repeat it? Whatever this vision is, your credibility, can people repeat it? Just like we said of Martin Luther King, I have a dream. Everyone knows that. Now, the vision in your mind, does it have the clarity of what problem are we solving? For whom? What will better look like? And what will we do first? Next slide. Here it says, if your vision cannot guide today's decision, it is decoration. So for the case study, we're going to make a decision real quick. Next slide. So there's the popular event and there's the useful event, but we have 150,000 naira. So your association, you're a student leader. Let's say you are leading the society of music in your organization in your school, for instance. Now you have a limited budget, 150,000 naira. Option A is a flashy concert, is likely to boost your visibility. Option B is a small career clinic, and students have repeatedly requested this. You're the one leading the organization, you're the one leading the society. There are 50 students. Now, students have said what they need is B. Give us a career clinic so that when I finish this music department, I know what is expected of me in the career world. But if you go with option A, right, it's flashy. You put your name on the banner, you put your name on the billboard. Everybody knows that you're bringing this concert. We're going to answer it, and let's see, Kelly, if you can unmute, which one would you go for? Mind you, option A, we're arguing for it because by the time people see you more, then you can approach other organizations, etc. That's the validation for you going for option A. But option B, the only validation anyway is because that's what people are asking for. So which would you go for? What would be your decision as a leader? Kelly.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning,
Morning.
everyone. It has been an interesting talk. So for me, I will go for option B, right? Because leadership means you putting aside your own interest and putting in the interest of the people you are leading. So if
Mm.
that is what they want and that is what they feel, okay, will help them achieve what they want to achieve, then you have to leave that aspect. Yes, as much as option A too is necessary because as you are leading, you also want to put yourself, for more organizations to actually reach out to you. But the people you are leading are more important than you that is leading. So for me, I'll go for option B. I don't know if any anybody has another opinion.
Everybody will know your name. By the time you get like maybe one of these big guys that comes to school and everybody's talking about you, Kelly brought this guy to school. Are you sure you don't want to go for option A?
No, ma,
You can even
not
put it on your
interested.
LinkedIn, do more publicity about it. Are you sure you don't want to go for option A?
No, ma, not interested in option A.
You can bring Davido, OBO, 30 billion gang.
But it doesn't matter. It's about leadership, and leadership is putting people interest above yours. So I'll still go for option B instead of A.
Okay, so Abigail, is Abigail still with us? Or Belumi or Latifat? Do you have any other person who has a thought around this? Belumi, Latifat, Kelly is going for option B, but I don't know that he knows what is at stake. We could get Davido. Do we have any other takers? Amon Waleola, do you want to take it on? Can we still hear me? I can't think because network is down. Okay, if we don't have any takers for now, that's fine. Let's go on to the next slide. And Kelly has literally demonstrated to us today the core of leadership because integrity is what will keep your direction trustworthy. Your team knows that if they've said to their leader, what we want is B, then he will follow that direction and we can trust him. So those are quotients that start to increase your trustworthiness. Option B, as long majority carries the vote. By the time you wait, they can attend a day and that's it. All the money you probably have paid it to this big name. are impacts the people integrity is then you choosing between white and off-white, right? Our first case scenario was easy for us to choose B. But this time around, we're talking on integrity. Next slide. And it is you being in alignment, even when pressure tries to split you. So your values say what I say matters, your choices and the things you actually do, and accountability is what you're willing to explain. So once you can make a decision consistent with your values, your choices are informed with that, and you're accountable. Next slide, please. You're then on your path to trust. And for trust, we have the 4 C's. So we've spoken, next slide, please. So we've spoken about the 4 D's, the negative ones, the positive 4 D's, and now to grow trust, you have to look at competence. Can you do the work? Consistency, can people predict your standards? Care, do people matter to you? Not just you wanting to lead because it will look nice on your LinkedIn. And do you have the courage to do what is right? Influence then becomes an equation of trust over time. Next slide. Trust over time. So people trust leaders more when they believe their voice matters. So you'd see here a study that was conducted by the body of trust metric across I think about 85 nations. And 69% of the people feel that, oh, they have a say in the organization they belong to. 22% feel like, oh, they don't have a say. So even if we write that the coveralls that are being given to us are not good. 47 they will not do anything. And that is eroding trust. And if you go back to the 4 C's that we went through, it's clear you need that competence, you need the courage, you need to care for the people. So people would only trust you when they believe in you, when no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I'll say that one more time. No follower cares how much you know until they know how much you care. They will follow you. Next slide. They will follow you once they know that, yes, this person cares about me. So when they're recommending, like Kelly recommended, okay, let's go with option B, they know that it's in your best interest. When you get into another scenario and you're presenting something to them, they have a higher way to trust you, because the truth is your title would fade whether you are Gen Sec today or VP tomorrow, but the trust you build even in other groups will start to compound. And our generation must be a generation that leads with integrity, because that is what will change our story. The story today, we all heard it, we're barely at 18% trust level, but it's important we change that, right? And yes, we must build credibility, which is what this test helps you do. As a leader, you're checking in your mind, this decision I want to make, does it pass the clear test? Even if the answer is uncomfortable, one, check the facts. List the stakeholders. Is it just for my own benefit or just me and my friends' benefit? Does it benefit the larger association? Examine the values. What do we value as an organization? This student body, this is where we're going. Like we mentioned it earlier, if you're a dance group, Then 20 of your meetings should not be spent on gist. 10 out of your 20 meetings should not be spent on gist. Is it consistent with our values? Assess the options you have. Are you sure you're not going through the back door? Then record and reveal. Let everything be open. Next slide. Now, we're doing the second and final case study for today's session. Okay, it appears it's not showing well. So I'll ask the question and we'll quickly answer. We have just about 5 minutes to wrap up. So a friend asks you to add their name after the application deadline has passed. So what you're not seeing properly are three reasonings, and I'd want everyone to prepare to give an answer. So you have a link that you opened. We're going to represent music society in Japan. There's an application deadline internally, and you said it to everyone. This deadline, if you miss it, that's the end. Now, your friend comes to you after the deadline has passed and is asking you the type of tool of this case study is this small favor. Is a small favor, quote and unquote. And these are your reasonings. Point one, where you can't see clearly. Nobody will know. Point two, but this guy helped me when I was even running for GenSec. He spent his money, scholarship money. And then you're thinking it's just one slot. Now, based on the CLARE principle, could we go to the previous slide, please? The CLARE test. We want to use the CLARE test to make a decision now. Could we go to the previous slide? Yeah. All right. So we want to use the CLARE test. Remember, it's an acronym for CLEAR. Your friend asks you, add their name, but the application has passed. What would you do? Do you have any takers? Bellumi, Abigail, Victor? What would you do based on the CLARE test? What is lawful? What is fair? You're assessing your options. You're checking the facts. What would you do? We have barely 5 minutes, guys. Could we have anyone just bell the cat?
Okay. Well, based on the clear test, right? You are not supposed to actually do
Or
that.
what would you
Even,
do?
you are not supposed to, but I will say, because we are in Nigeria, I'm not going to lie, right? We are going to do it because, as far as you have said, the person has helped you, using his own scholarship money to support you, and nobody's going to know. I mean, who is going to actually? You are going to at that point, you are going to be like, I mean, it's just to put his name. I mean, what is there? Nobody will know. I think that in reality, most out of let's say out of 100 people, let's say 95% of them are going to do that, and I'm going to be among the 95%. I won't lie. Yes.
Okay, thank you for being truthful. Go ahead, Fred, Victor.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mark. So I would just have to be honest, right? Personally, I'll first of all I will check the facts first. Is it that he's aware that this application is ongoing? Is it that he is not aware? For example, if he's not aware, it's actually a different ball game, right? But if he's aware and he just probably he was ignorant over the deadline and everything. So those are some of the things I will check. So if he's not aware, definitely I will add his name, but I don't think it's right. So that's just what I want to say.
Alrighty, okay. So I love the credibility. And with credibility now is the credibility of your own art. You are being credible to your art. That this is what my art is feeling. However, the stakes are quote and unquote low here. When we move it to higher stakes, where we're talking about 50 billion, it differs. It differs because the weight of it, that's 50 billion. It also differs because if you're saying, oh, this vaccine, it does not really pass, so but is my friend, let's just write his name as he has already put so much money into this vaccine, even though it doesn't pass the test, let it just go like that. Johnson and Johnson currently have a lawsuit where they're having to pay off mothers of kids because of the old cancer baby killer, whatever. You can Google it, Johnson and Johnson. And by the time you Google further, if you drill down, you'd find that some of those things did not pass the clear test. You will find that one person somewhere probably said, oh, he's my friend, this guy's putting a lot of money, so let it just pass. Now they're having to pay billions of dollars for something that could have gone through the clear test, and a disciplined person could have said, no, I'm not going to do it. So even though what we're talking about in today's session is deadline has passed, if you're not faithful in little, guess what? It becomes harder to be faithful in much. The next two slides. Let's go to the next two slides, please. So I'm leaving us with something that is tough today. Next two slides, please. Okay, so I'll read it from here. So integrity is not proved by the choices everyone sees. It is revealed by the choices that you could hide, but your own integrity says otherwise. The next thing is then, and I like how Victor and Kelly put it, this person did for me. How do you handle those kind of scenarios where you also want to quote and unquote keep your friend? The next task is then emotional intelligence. And I want us to take it away as an assignment. And I trust Mr. B to organize a session where they'll actually teach us through emotional intelligence. Because could we go to the next slide? Thank you. Next slide. We've done this case study. Okay, so I've talked through this. Next slide. Okay. Emotional intelligence turns pressure into wise response. There are some of my friends today that over the years, right, I know that if I tell them, and these students are guilty of it, let me write my name in the attendance, and they come, I beg, let me write my name in the attendance. Just to type full stop in the chat if you've ever requested that. Full stop. Don't type too much. We don't need to drag. If you've ever asked someone to write your name in the attendance, you just type full stop. Don't do too much. Just type full stop. Thank you, Victor. At least we have people who are truthful. Thank you, Kelly. Ibuku, Khadija, you've never asked someone to write your name for you. All right, real quick. Okay, now it is important that we build a foundation of, thank you, Rima Myang, right? It's important that we put ourselves under that pressure, right? And it will hurt you, it will hurt the other person, but you're building yourself for the larger world. And I can share a personal testimony here. I did 5 years and my department was notorious. They will even draw formation of how they want to ask themselves before we go into the class. Now, for me, and this is by the grace of God, they never add me to the formation because I will not ask you any question. Don't ask me question. And I'm able to share that now, almost 10 years after, because it is true. If you ask any of my classmates, I met some of them at this recently concluded SPE NICE, and there are things we joke about now, but they know it, and I also know it. Next slide, please. So it is important that you lead yourself before you try to lead the room. So notice, pause, choose, and repair. When you get taken through the emotional intelligence course, you will learn what regulation is. There's such a thing as emotional regulation. It's an entire course on its own. It is refusing to make your emotions the decision maker. Next slide, please. So over time, you have to then learn, okay, how can I make a tough decision? My conflict with my friends or counterparts becomes constructive, even when dignity and clarity need to try together, that had to travel together. So these are some examples. Or instead of saying, oh, you always sabotage me, you people never listen to me, or you just do silent treatment. Now, when you're relating with your team, you can just say, oh, when the report came late, the team missed the deadline. Let people know what the consequences are. Oh, because you didn't apply at the right time, the deadline is closed. Oh, I need us to decide how this feedback will be used and have a direct conversation. Next slide, please. So going in with a life of trust, leading with integrity, leading with vision, you'll need to do the hard work. But influence itself is earned ever before you announce it. So as a good and strong student leader, you're growing other leaders as well as yourself. You're giving them, oh, okay, I can do this, but you give it to the next person. Next slide, please. Trying to run through so that we stay within the time. So leadership can be meaningful. In the Gallup's 2026 Global Workplace data, senior leaders reported that higher daily negative emotions could affect work, right? So build support, even for yourself as a leader. Work on things that energize you, right? And then I would want us to do a takeaway. You've learned about vision. We've talked through integrity today. We've looked at 2 case studies. We've spoken on how, sorry, just one slide before this, please. This says, okay, so this is our assignment. So we've said that vision must come with clarity. Do the clear test before you make your decisions and have a standard and then serve. So these next 2 slides are the assignment I would want us to take away. For yourself as a student leader, write what a better future will look like. And we started from there when we started today's session, that 1 year from now, because I grew in empathy, that's you looking at the other person and being, able to relate with their emotion, even though you are not feeling it. Like someone is feeling a kind of way, but you don't feel that way, but at least you just extend empathy to say, okay, I understand because you're not that human. Would you work on being more credible? Would you work on learning how to communicate better? Would you work on how to be more integral? Would you work on how to communicate the vision clearly? Because everyone needs clarity. And also with standard, what is one behavior you will not compromise? I give my own example. In the example, you can ask any of my over 110 classmates from class, chemical engineering, OAU class of 2015. They will say to you without fail that you cannot ask Olamide a question in the exam or she will not answer you. And she will not ask you. So as little as that, what one behavior will you not compromise? Solve one real problem without seeking applause. If it's that you want to teach your community about how to apply for opportunities, and then you commit to that, as well as accountability. Yes, you're a leader, but every leader needs a leader. So what would you put as your own accountability measure? So this brings us to the final slide. We've shown, next slide, please. So once you've answered all these questions, just write the sentence together. I will lead with vision by being more integral. I will protect integrity even when it's hard. I will build influence through clarity in communication. So whatever that sounds like for you, yours might be to be more articulate in your conversations. Yours might be to serve without looking for applause, because it is easy as leaders to get stuck in wanting that. All right. So that brings us to the end of today's session. Remember, vision shows the way with clarity. Integrity makes that way trustworthy, and influence will bring people with you. They will remember that they could trust you, even when you're no longer leading them. And even when no one can see you, integrity is who you are. So influence is trust. You can spend it. By the time you tell one lie, you've already spent it. What you have left is reducing. So guard the account that you're building with trust. And also remember, your presence is not just when you walk into a room. Your presence matters when the entire room changes just because you came in. And finally, your credibility is built in years, in seasons, but you can actually just expend everything in one moment of being a person of no integrity. So please don't be that. And finally, you do not rise to the position, you fall to your preparation. So please prepare to be a trustworthy leader. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's my joy to have shared with you today.
Thank you very much. I think Anna is Anna still here? I can't see her here. Thank you very much, Olamide, for this presentation. Even I can't see Olamide on the call also. Probably she's going to join again. This was really, really profound. I learned a lot. Okay. Firstly, I love how you engaged the session, asking them questions, how they resonate with. Oh, really? I was just checking the chat box and I saw my name. Asking the way you asked them initially about the leader, the trust. And I think I've always liked the way Kelly thinks out of the box. I was not even expecting to hear VDM. But yeah, everybody is you know who you look up to and the reason why you look up to them. So and that's very nice. And funny enough, when we were coming up with the slides, I'm sure the mentees here, even the mentors on the call, know that we most times give tax after the session. And we were like, okay, maybe we should chill till chill till after the session to give the tax. Now, I think you've done the work for us because we have more than enough tax to do. So we're going to share it on the WhatsApp group for those who were unable to join to participate. As the tax ahead is actually for the mentees to come up with a small, not really a project, but we call it a project, an opportunity to speak to students in secondary school. You influence people and work with what works for you. And before now, the task they've done was to come up with topics, work with their co-mentees, and give presentation just like what you're doing. And this has outrightly helped the team spirit, the leadership qualities they have, because it takes a lot for you to actually work with someone who you've never seen before, someone who you met virtually online through a platform, and you guys have to align, design slides, agree on topic, and do lots of things together. So I would say thank you very much for this. We really okay, Anna is back. We really appreciate, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot and I love how practical the session was. So Anna, I think you can take it over. Take it off from here.
Okay, thank you. Thank
So
you
do we
very
have
much,
questions?
my
Yeah, okay,
sister.
Anna.
So if you have questions, okay, so please, if you have questions, the participants of the call, is please, if you have questions, you can just signify with the raise of your hand, or you can drop your question on the chat box. Please, if you have questions, you can just signify with the raise of your hand, the end button, or you can drop your question on the chat box.
Okay, I think I have a question. I saw during the session, the first thing that was talked about was vision. And that is actually very key, especially as a leader, or maybe even you being a member of a professional body or a group or anything. So what if, maybe let me just use student leadership for example. Most times we love the beauty of it. We love the results, we love the applause, even though you should not lead with applause at the back of your mind. But everybody loves when we are appreciated, and this result is like out there and everyone wants to be a part of it. So what if people come in on the basis of, yes, we share the same goal or the same vision, and at the end of the day, it's not what you thought it was. Let me use the example you used about the planning the career event and the concerts. So what if at the inception you have people that were like, oh yes, it's career all the way and all of it, and we saw a sponsor that is willing to bring Davido or Lamide to the school, and we're like, this would bring in more money for us and it's going to put our school out there. Let's do this. And we can even save money from this event to do the students' career event later. But let's use this as an opportunity. So how do you at that moment, obviously, you cannot change your team. So how do you manage that space for you to, is it that you try to bring them back to what it used to be, remind them of how it goes? I just want to know, because I know a lot of people are actually battling with this. I've gotten so many students reach out to me asking these questions, and even I myself, I kind of find myself in that situation sometimes. So please help with that.
Okay. So with that one, I would suggest the clear test all over again. And most times with the clear test, for instance, you probably won't have it like, oh, okay, let me go and open the clear test. But it's subconscious. It's behind your mind. One is okay, let's do something more steep. Now, your school fees, you're like, this school fees, if I do XYZ, the return from it will be enough to cover my school fees now. Now that's a very steep scenario, right? That's borderline gambling. Phase two, back to this question in itself, there are three things. One, how sure is everyone that, okay, doing this concert, we're going to raise the money? Because not all decisions carry equal weightage. The decision of doing MMM and hoping that the money that comes out of it, you use it to pay your school fees, that is like if the weight of that is 1,000 versus this decision weightage will probably be like maybe 50. Organize this particular career fair. It doesn't mean fair. So number one is you want to allocate accurate weightage to the decision at hand, not all decisions are the same. Number two, and that okay, fine. Majority believe in that. Because need to know the example we're using is music organizing. End of it, um, organization, if that's the path you want to follow, then it might look good as well. Like you've also said, oh, we might attract other people. Might being the functional word. So is everyone, or at least the larger percentage of the team, ready to stake everything on this might? Do we see the possibility, and are we ready to invest in that possibility? Because doing the concert is one thing, channeling the outcome of the concert for your other preferred outcome of at least these people can get internship with Davido or Olamide, or this can give us leverage. It means you have to now actively put in energy into that, believe in it. So it's not an ad of fast draw. It's also not cast in stone. And like I said, not all decisions carry the same weightage. So once you can go back to the drawing board with this one, for instance, then it makes a difference. That's my insight to that.
Thank you very much.
Mami
Thank
Stewart,
you.
I don't know if you are clear with the answers.
Yeah, yes. I like the fact that one just has to do a mental clear test and be sure that your goals actually align, and maybe you just need to look at how to bring yourself back to where you were at the beginning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Repairs Hannah's network is kicked out again.
Okay, so in the absence of questions, I think we will just move on. This is the foundation's baby project, where we actually want to light up students' education. The aim is to reward the best students from government-owned schools, and we kind of have it in a package where you can sponsor a student, sponsor a school, and the whole essence behind Light Up a Child is, would aside the educational materials we give them solar lamps where they can charge naturally, and that would not the epileptic electricity condition in the country would not affect their education. So in case you want to be a part of this, you can either make payment into the account number there, or you reach out to us for more information. And so we say thank you. This session would be available on our YouTube channel for the end of next week. And you can also access other resources that we have. This Chevney Scholarship is opening at the moment, and we have a session where we had six scholars come together to give tips on how they were able to get this scholarship. So it's your opportunity. You can also get resources on how to come up with your CVs, SOPs, and so many other things. Yeah, and Olamide talked about emotional intelligence. Yeah, we also have a session on emotional intelligence and others, and also an opportunity to learn from everybody. So thank you once again, and see you at the next session. Bye.